whether it's morning, evening, or afternoon. I'm just glad that you guys have decided to vibe out with guests. Yes, if you're new here, welcome, welcome, welcome. And for the ones that are not new to this but true to this, hey y'all, what's up? What's poppin'? As we wind down into the summer, I hope you guys have been enjoying it. I hope you guys are preparing for what's new to come, like going back to school, going back to work, whatever the case may be. I hope this year brings you nothing but peace and blessings that you deserve, as well as for the kiddos, okay? Before we get started, y'all, I want to say once again, I thank you all so very much for your time and patience, your likes, comments, subscribing, views, the emails, and everything. I really, really appreciate it a lot. As well as to the guests, thank you so very much for taking the time out of y'all day to even come on here, to the past, present, and future ones, okay? Before we get started, y'all, we're on guest appearance 19. We are so close to 20, and I'm so super excited about that because, as you guys know, vibing out with guests has only been a thing for 6 months so far, and we have 19 guest appearances already. Like, that's a big deal. And for vibing out with appearance, we are almost to 120 episodes at that. So I thank you all so very much for keeping me motivated, because at times it is not easy to stay motivated and to even mentally prepare for these episodes and things of that nature. So I appreciate y'all so very much. So before we get started, I want you guys to sit back, relax, and enjoy our voice or watching us on YouTube. Okay? So let's get into it. First, I'm going to let the guests introduce themselves, and then we're going to tap into today's episode.
My name is Michael Stewart. I'm 33, from West Baltimore. I've been through a lot as far as, with custody of my child, incarceration, business, overcoming a lot of obstacles. And I'm just here to tell my story. Hopefully this can, help someone else out that's going through something similar.
Okay. And y'all know we all about mental health, education, and wellness, especially when it comes to the black men. I love how all the men out there that have been reaching out to me and been really like listening and eager and really have been interested in me. So I thank you so much. As well as for you, thank you for even taking the time out of your day to even talk about this, because these are topics we don't hear every day, as well as someone being an advocate to speak on that. So that's really, really like brave and dope, because I'd be like, sheesh. So before we get started, we always go into the focus, and we also do the mental check-in. So we want to mental check-in with our guests to see how they're doing, jump into focus, and we're going to go right into it.
Well, I'm good. I'm feeling good. How about you?
I'm good. Well, thank you for asking. I'm good. I'm good. Like, every time I do it, I do get a little bit nervous sometimes. I be like, I want to ramble too much, but that's the whole purpose of this. But I feel good, I'm comfortable, and I'm ready to hear your story.
All right. Well, I'm ready to get into it. So. Okay.
So let's get it started. So the focus today, guys, as you heard, we will be talking about custody case, incarcerating, life insurance as well. He did not mention that, but we're going to let him talk more about that. Life insurance, fatherhood, and resentless. Okay? So, the first question is, can you share a little bit about your journey and what shaped you into who you are today?
Well, my journey was filled with a lot of ups and downs, of course, coming from, West Baltimore, Park Heights area. Mm-hmm. It's been a lot of situations that I had to figure things out myself. Mm-hmm. It wasn't like I had a blueprint on, what to do, so there's a lot of situations that I had to get out here, man up, and, go out here and seek the knowledge myself. So, that shaped me into the man that I am today, for real.
That's dope. Because that blueprint, I'm real big on a blueprint. Like I say all the time, sometimes we don't have a blueprint. We just let things just flow. Right. And sometimes it works. But then sometimes it's like, do we want to stay stagnant right here, or do I want to try another blueprint? And sometimes it be like it works, and sometimes it don't. Sometimes you got to add pieces and things like nature. Sometimes you got to freestyle, but whatever fits for you, it works. So that's super dope. Sure. What's one lesson from the past that you carry with you daily?
I would say to read. to read everything and to understand what you're reading, and not being afraid to go out here and open a book to get the knowledge. So I would definitely say reading, and shout out to my teachers for that. For real.
Yeah, reading is fundamental.
Sure.
And I tell people all the time too, don't think of as in order for you to learn, you have to be in a classroom. You can learn from anywhere, from anybody, and you can be able to teach people too. Like I tell people all the time, I be like, you don't have to go to college to just learn something. Sometimes you can learn that by yourself. Like the internet, social media, all that is such good tools for you to just learn. Like you just have to be eager to do it, as well as reading to find out information and understand what's going on and what is this and what is that, etc.
Yep.
You really got to take the chance to really go get it.
Right.
For
sure. Put yourself out there and not be afraid. You got to get uncomfortable. You get comfortable.
Yeah, and sometimes it's worth it. It's really worth it. Like, I have moments too. I be like, I'm so uncomfortable, but it's like once you get used to it, you get your feet wet and everything. It's like this is nothing, and it's like it helps you in so many different ways, especially from reading to understand stuff too. If you don't read the fine print or whatever, you're gonna be lost forever.
Yep.
You're gonna be lost forever. Yep. Sometimes it is best to skim, but you really have to read deep into it, even if you gotta do it more than once until you grasp it. Like, okay, this is nothing. Cool. So that's really important. So I like that as well. Yep. So the first topic that we're gonna jump into is custody and fatherhood. Now, take us back to March 31st, 2021. What did it feel like to officially win custody of your daughter?
Man, the feeling was like a relief, fulfillment, excitement, 'cause I didn't see my child for a year and like 3 months.
Wow.
While the custody thing was going on. So it was so many emotions in one, because it was a long journey, a long hard journey, so just going through it, you really can't describe the feeling. It's just like a overwhelming, joyful feeling, I accomplished this, I did that by myself.
Wow. Because this, for me, I know you don't really hear stories like this a lot. So there's a lot of questions that I'm thinking to answer, because it's like, y'all, if you don't know, before the guests come on here, they do fill out forms, and this was one on his form, and I was just like, wow, mind you, we're in Baltimore, we're in the city,
right?
And nowadays, a lot of people don't see a lot of single dads, always the single mothers, and then you be like, really? But
yeah, right.
I be like, it is single fathers out here, and I know single fathers too that are really, really like putting in the work, but being able to win full custody, that's a real big battle.
So what I did was I didn't take her for full custody, which I could have done, but I came in it whereas though when the judge asked me what I wanted to do, because I didn't go into it on a tip where as though I was being malicious. I just wanted, her to stop being able to take my child away from me when she felt like it. You know what I'm saying? So it's things that I can't teach her. Yeah. She needs her mom. So I didn't go at it like that. I set the order up. She get her from Sunday to Sunday. I get her from Sunday to Sunday. They put me in charge of education, put her in charge of medical and things like that. So, I set it up, perfectly for both of us, not to be petty and, and I ain't coming from that, Like, she got her time with her mom. She got her time with me. And, I tell any man, like, bro, when it gets overwhelming, you gotta, this is where I be saying, you gotta get uncomfortable to get comfortable. I didn't want to go down there to that courthouse and talk to those people, but, I had to do what I had to do. Yeah. It was tough, so.
I can only imagine, because it's like, when you hear stories about it, you just be like, dang, what went wrong? Because also, too, people don't from the outside looking into, that's a big problem sometimes. When they look, they be like, oh, it's so good. But sometimes, no, it don't always be like that, especially within raising a child. Like, at some point, well, in general, with raising kids, I don't have a child, y'all, but my parents tell me too, like, it was not no manual on how to be a good parent. It's not. Like, they had to freestyle so much stuff just for us, like, for me and my siblings, like, sacrifice and stuff like that. And, like, people in my generation, I be like, it's different for us because we younger. Like, we still, like, early, mid-20s. So it's just like...
Right.
I be like, how are you able to manage all that? Like, look, I be doing it. And some be like, look.
You just gotta do it.
Yeah. And then, too, also, too, going back to being in the city, you do not want to ever set foot in the courtroom. You don't want to do that because it's like, even if it's for your trial or even for a jury duty, you there all day, the whole month, you don't even know what's going to happen. So, like, when I be talking to guys that I know that are single fathers, too, they be like, wow. They be calling me bro. Like, all right, cool, whatever. I be like, how are you able to do this? Hey, they be like, look, communication is key too.
For sure.
Communication is key. Because some of them was like, look, it was like, they didn't want to do having to go down there for the custody thing. Because it's like, it's a whole battle. You don't know what you're going to expect.
Yeah. But
they also made a stepping stone, like you said too, like, had to plan out a schedule. And sometimes, when you do it, it may work, and then sometimes, like, something got to give. So being able to have that flexibility, I just wonder, like, in the beginning, was it working, or you had to sometimes, like, try something else to make sure, okay, this what works for us?
Far as you talking about how I set the order up, or that's what you're saying?
Mm-hmm, like for the order of it.
So, it's... I just looked at it like it was a lot of conflict between me and her. Like, I would want to do certain things she ain't agree on. She would want to do certain things I didn't agree on. So it got to a point where though we couldn't get along. And then we couldn't talk and have rational conversations. So it just got to a point like, this is what I got to do. And then all the, the false charges. And it was a lot. It was a lot that I had to endure, while I went through this. But what I'm saying is it just became too much to where as though I had to really make that decision. Like, you know what? This is what I'm going to do. I'm going to go ahead and file for custody. She can get her when she got her, and then she got her time off to do whatever she need to do. Just like I got her, then I got my time off to do whatever I need to do to, in life. You know what I'm saying? So it's just perfect for both of us. You know what I'm saying? For real.
That's good. It just be like, wow. Because also, too, when you hear the stories, you just be like, that's a lot that deals with the mental health aspect.
Yeah, for sure. Because
that is stressful, because it's like, okay, there's a child involved. Like, they're innocent. They're innocent. Children are innocent, period. Right. And then it's like, for y'all to be the adults, it's like, we got to put a problem aside. Sometimes that is hard to do, because it's like, you make me sick and all that, but you gotta think, like, I don't care right now about that. Like, our child is involved. Exactly. So shout out to all the parents, single parents out there that are able to do that, because it's not easy at all. Like, it's not. Like, I never experienced it, but, like, seeing and hearing, I just be like, wow, that's a lot. Like, it's such a lot. And then, too, for me, speaking on, like, the social work aspect, you got to think, too, of the child, because you don't know how much that can affect them.
Always.
When they go to school or whatever, like, their feelings are valid, too. Like, even though they don't know much what's going on, but if they see, oh, my God, my mother, my father, like, it's hurting them.
Yep, people forget that part, though. Kids grow up, they got their own feelings. People forget that part when you're caught up in a situation.
Yes, and that was, like, one of my biggest fears of, like, when I stepped into the profession of being a school social worker and dealing with children, and then having to hear those things, because people don't realize, too, even if you're the parent or guardian, certain things you do and say, it rubs off on them and impacts the day. So situations like that can really impact it, like education, their behavior. And just being able to try to set the examples is key, because being able to master, okay, I gotta do what's best not even for me, but for my child. So if we have to go down here and get this done, we want to get it done because at the end of the day, she's our child. But we have to make sure that she's getting both of us, even if it's not at the same time, but still getting like, okay, she knows who her mother is, she knows who her father is, and we still care. But, you know, sometimes we can't all be in the same room. We can work on it, but right now, no. So that's the biggest thing too, because their mental health matters as well.
Right.
Like, it's a scary thing, especially like for all the people out there that do work with children. They know that at times, like, it takes a lot out of a child to even express their feelings.
Right.
And to even be vulnerable to people, because it's like, it's not easy for a child to just be like, oh, this is going on. No, you have to build that rapport and then even have the empathy and the compassion to do that, because it's like, if not, they're going to feel like no one's going to hear them.
Exactly.
And it's very important. I know within that, it's just like, forget all that. My child is here. Like, I have to make sure she's good at all times, regardless of what I got going on with you. This is for her.
Exactly.
So I can only imagine like the frustration of it, and then mentally, just.
Yeah, it's definitely a lot. But you know, what kept me going is, you know, I was doing it for her, so it was bigger than me. The whole time, and I feel like that's why it worked out in my favor, because I wasn't going at it on a malicious point. You know, even though the fake charges and all that stuff, I still wasn't going at it on that type of tip. You know what I'm saying? I was going at it because I wanted my child back.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? So I don't, you know, I've been in my child's life since she been here. You know, so me missing a year and 3 months out of her life, that really hurt me. You know what I'm saying?
I can
Real tough.
imagine. I can imagine. Like, that's just, it's so sensitive and touchy for me, y'all, because, like, I said to my series, like, children are so precious. Like, they are harmless. You know, they get on our nerves at times, but they are harmless. Like, they need us. We need them in so many ways, especially within parents or guardians. They need that love, because that prepares them and help them to identify who they are. What is real love? How to come this way? Traits you learn from your mother. Traits you learn from your father. Like, we can go on and on about this. And it's something you don't hear every day, especially coming from a male's point of view versus a female's point of view. Right. Like, people be like, oh, they could do this, they could do that. One parent could do it. It's impossible for one parent to try to teach a child everything. Is needed twice. It's needed within both. Even if it's not in the same room, they need to get that same love, care, all that. So that is very, very important. So next is, well, I think you touched base a little bit on this, but what were some of the biggest challenges you faced in the custody process, and how did you overcome them?
Well, anything you do down the courthouse is long-winded. You file any paper, it's going to take up 2 to 3 weeks, 30 days, 60 days. So, you know, that's why it was extended so long. And then she wasn't responding to my orders. So, you know, you gotta, if they don't respond, then now you gotta file something else. So it was that part of having patience. I had to really work on that, you know, not wanting things to just be done on my time, you know. And what helped me with that is, you know, I really had to seek out mental therapy. You know, it was becoming too much. It was too much on my brain. I was so mad. I was so frustrated. So I had to go get some help, you know. And I can say, you know, my mental health therapist, she really helped me out, you know, with getting me to understand things is not going to always be done on my time. You get what I'm saying?
Yes.
And also, I went to the gym. I started working out, you know. I started working out because I felt like I needed an outlet or something that I like to do to keep me busy while, you know, I'm missing my child and I'm just getting angry. So, you know, I started going to the gym as well. That's really
good. That's really good. So I was very touched base too, like within therapy. That's another thing too. You don't really hear a lot of men talk about therapy, especially black men, and even in the black community lifestyle, none of that.
Right.
As you know, growing up, you know, black families, you don't need no therapist. You are
right. People look down on it so much. I don't understand.
Like, therapy is required. I'm gonna say required because the need, you know, some people take it a little too far. It's required, especially in our lives, especially if we gone through things or going through things, we need someone to help us with healing within the traumas or getting through things, especially within what's going on in life.
Right.
So even if it's like parents, I feel like they most definitely need a therapist because it's not easy raising children or a child at all.
Especially when it's a lot of dysfunction going on. And that's something that you just want to protect your child from. After it's been going on for a few years, it get to a point where as though somebody gotta say enough is enough.
And it takes a lot out of a person to be like, you know what, yeah, enough is enough. And then also to help you keep you grounded with your well-being, like going to the gym. That's a lot of men out here, I know, like they go to the gym, like they put all their frustrations in the gym. They be like, this helped me, like I'm going through a bad day, whatever, I'm in the gym. I be like, okay. My favorite line is, go touch some grass. Or, go touch some grass.
Yeah.
I mean, whatever's best, but that's very important. Like with your mental health, you gotta make sure it's there. Cause it be times that people will take you there. Like I'm even learning to like the best thing to do for yourself is you gotta know what's for you before you can help anyone else.
Yep.
Like you have to love on yourself before you can love harder on someone.
Yep.
Like you have to be able to know who you are before you pour yourself into anyone of things of that nature. So especially within what you were going through, that is very, very dope. And I hope it's key to people that may be going through this or know somebody going through this, is don't be afraid to go ask for help.
No.
Do not be afraid. Like at one point in time, we all had those moments like, I'm not finna sit with a stranger and pour my heart out to them. 9 times out of 10, that stranger been in your shoes. That's why they're in this profession.
Right.
Like, you never know. Like, even you sitting here telling your story, people probably be like, what? You never know. And my biggest thing, too, is don't judge a book by its cover if you never really read it and got the feel of it.
Right.
Because I know people probably be like, you went through that. You ever got those thoughts?
Man, my custody battle played out online.
Really?
Yeah, so, I ain't want to bring my business online, but, I felt as though I had to defend myself after a while because it was just getting too much. So, I had to defend myself online, so I was just hearing so many people's opinions and people telling me, I should just walk away and this, that, and the third, and I'm like, no, I'm not listening to y'all.
I'm glad you didn't because it's so funny, like, society, social media, all that will have opinions, but it's like, are you really reading and really understanding what's going on? Like, it's a father wanting nothing in this world but, just his daughter in his life. Just, like, come on now. I feel like what you did was right.
Yeah, for sure.
I don't feel like nothing was wrong with that.
No, not at all. Not at all.
Like,
you gotta do what you gotta do, when you're back against the wall. That's how I felt. With mine playing out online, I felt humiliated. You know what I'm saying? Because, I gotta put my business out here.
Yeah.
I gotta pretty much defend myself. Like I told you, I do life insurance. So I had an ankle monitor on my leg as well. So I had to keep telling my story over and over and over and over and over and over again. So it just got to a point like, hey, if I keep telling my story, I might as well just tell people how to do it. So that's why I got to that point. Like, listen, look, this is what you gotta do, bro. You don't have to sit there and take that. I think a lot of men feel like the courts is just designed for women. And in a lot of aspects it is, but I would say you just gotta have your documentation and your stuff together, and just do it.
Yeah, that paper.
The hardest part is just starting.
Yeah, it is. Like, it's wow. And then also too, y'all, within Baltimore, most cases will end up online. If it's so long, and it's going to end up online. It's going to end up on anything you can think of. And it's so crazy because it's like, it's supposed to be private because you're in a courtroom, whatever, but at times it gets so big, it's like, oh, this is a headline story. We going to get some, no. And then I can only imagine you having to see this, and it's like, I'm already dealing with enough in person dealing with this. Now I gotta see it on social media,
Yep.
and I gotta tell my side, like, look,
Yep.
like, I'm already going through enough.
Because, you know, it's so easy for people to believe a lie. You know, a lot of us men, we don't want to put our business on social media, but if you keep saying, you know, you keep saying something over and over and over about a person, you might start believing it.
Yeah,
So
and
you gotta defend yourself after a while. I know, you know, we don't want to do that, and I don't wish this on nobody. You know, but you know, you gotta defend yourself, man. You gotta defend yourself.
Yes.
You know, especially when you're in business.
yeah, like, especially too, like, I did an episode on that. Like, not only like are you a person, but you are your brand.
Right.
Like, it's so many things you have to think about. Like, not only am I fighting for this on this aspect, but I also got this going on, that going on, this going on. It's just already so much. But then too, like, as a man, having to already defend yourself in a courtroom with people, then gotta defend yourself to strangers on Instagram and Facebook, Twitter, all that. Like, it's so draining. Like, the internet at times is like, it's good and bad. And in most cases, you just be like, I don't even want to do this. But it's like, too, when you have a brand, when you are a brand, it's like, the only way I gotta keep going is networking on these social sites. Like, for me, y'all, it's so bad. Like, I rarely be on my main page anymore because it's like, I don't know what else to say. Like, I don't know what to do. Like, the only place you'll see is just that business page. You might see something on the main page, but it's that business page. And then too, when you're going through things, you be like, dang, I have to make sure that I'm displaying as much positivity as I can.
Right.
And not getting into anything, especially dealing with the law, because it's so much. Like, for me, like, your license on the line, your business on the line. So it's like, I gotta hold my composure with you. Like, I gotta think like, okay, I'm not gonna let you get me out of my character. You gonna have that, but it's so hard because it's like, you're playing with my name.
Right.
And then you put on social media. I feel like once anything's on social media, all bets are off.
Yes.
I'm sorry. All bets are off. I don't care who you are. All bets are off because it's like, when you're grown, you should know right from wrong. You should, but sometimes it don't. It don't. And I know sometimes too, feelings get involved. I get it. We all got feelings. But you got to think too, not only are you hurting me, but you hurting yourself because you putting your business on here.
Yep.
It's like, oh, yeah, I'm getting him, I'm going to get her, da-da-da. But it's like, hello? We know your business now, and you look stupid too because you're putting it on there.
Yep.
And those things really hurt to the core just looking in because it's like, this is private business. It's already bad enough that you have to go what you go through, but sitting there bashing a person, putting all these lies, like, it's not going to get any better.
Nope.
Because at the end of the day, the more and more you poke that bear and all that, the person you're doing is getting a last laugh.
Yeah, like me.
Right, you know, like, you're getting the last laugh.
You know, I mean, it's a process, man. I pray for anybody that's going through custody, and you know, like you said, us men, like, I just want to tell y'all, like, you know, that word aggressive for men in the courtroom, that'll F you up, man. So you definitely gotta watch what you say. You know, I know it's very emotional, but flashing out, going over there, you know, acting out, that's not the way, bro. I'm gonna tell you that's not the way. Don't do that. You know, just file your documents and go to the gym, bro. And, you know, whatever you can do that, you know, that it makes you happy, do that while you're going through it, you know.
Yes. Please, like, if anything, just touch some grass, you know, touch some grass, smoke it. I don't know.
Touch some grass, yeah.
Like, I don't know. Touch it, smoke it, hug a tree. Somebody told me they hug trees. I was like, oh, okay, cool. You know, do what's meant for you, but also steer yourself into the direction of positivity. Yes, it gets to a point where, oh, I'm going to lash her. I want to cuss her out, cuss him out. But you got to think, too, is like, what I'm gaining from that.
Yep.
You ain't gaining nothing. You giving him the energy like, I got him, I got her. Now, do this so I can put this on there too. So it's like, okay, feeding me what I want you to do. No. Yeah.
That's real that you said that. You know, my therapist had told me that as well. You know, my therapist told me one time, like, you know, why do you let her have so much power over you? And, you know, I had got defensive at first. Because I'm like, she ain't got no power over me. But then when I thought about it, and, you know, the things that I was responding to and things like that, I'm like, you know what, the only way this going to, you know, hold some weight if I respond to it. So it had got to a point where it's though, like now, like, when negativity stuff come, you know, I brush it up. I got my daughter with me now, so, you know what I'm saying? No point in even going through that stuff no more.
See how he mentioned y'all when he said the therapist? Yeah. The social worker too, we be throwing that out. And even me, I gotta think to, I be like, ooh, I'm not finna let this unless, because it gets to a point, y'all. It gets to a point. But you also gotta remember, when you giving them what they want, you're allowing them to puppet master you.
Yep.
I'm not letting nothing or no one puppet master me. Especially when I got so much going on and your mental health is on the line.
Right.
You don't want nothing or no one triggering that.
Right.
Okay, when you're on this healing journey or whatever the case may be, you got to really be cautious. Trust me, it's a learning process. Sometimes it's not going to happen overnight. First and foremost, it's not going to happen overnight. It takes time and time. But once you master that skill, it's oh, like it's amazing. Like, I just love when people be so unbothered with this stuff. It's like, you're my hero, because what, it took me forever to master the silent treatment or just even not saying nothing.
Yeah, I'm getting better.
It takes every day. Better. Like, it's a step.
Definitely a process.
But it's a good process.
It's a good process. It helps you out in life too. You know, this helped me be way more humble and letting things go off my shoulders, you know, that I would usually react to.
Yeah.
You know, so I'm a advocate for mental health. Go get mental health, bro. If you having these crazy thoughts, man, listen, go get help, bro. There's nothing wrong with it.
And it's some people out here that are willing to even provide you with free services. Even your insurance covers it too. You know, you might have a little copay stuff, whatever, but mental health is key. Like, it's key. Like, everything we do, we have to stay grounded, and we have to make sure that we're mentally okay as well as physically, because sometimes too you can see it physically before you can really feel it, which is kind of crazy, or vice versa. And what I've learned too, even just within working in the human health service world, even you providing the services, you got to make sure you're good. Even your own therapist has a therapist.
Yeah.
Because it's like,
it's crazy. Everybody going through something.
Like, it's so crazy. Like, even you being an advocate and stuff, you still have someone too. Because it's like, not only am I advocating for you, but I also have to make sure that I'm willing to even get up out of the bed to advocate for you.
Right.
Because also too, when we sign ourselves up and do the work, go to school, stuff for this, we also got to make sure too, our biases and everything is taken care of. Because that's a big one. Like, for me, it was like me working with children. Family was a big thing for me. Because I was like, I grew up in a 2-parent household. And hearing those stories, like single parents and stuff, it just triggers a little bit. Because it's like, I don't know how that feel. And every time you hear it, it's not a good thing. It's always like, oh, I'm fussing with this one. I'm dealing with that one. And this and that. And this and that. And it just be like, really? Yeah. So, y'all, please. It's tough.
It's tough.
It's so tough. But I salute everyone.
It's not, you know, it's a lot of bad stories out there, but I can say, you know, with my journey with this, I have met a lot of people that do have a positive co-parenting relationship with their child's parent, or the other parent, you know, and that's all, man. There's no point in, I just, even if the relationship don't work out, you don't have to hate each other to raise your child, man.
That's
you don't.
Key. That's very important, because I just be like, dang, I got but some of it works out. Some of it be like, this was the best thing ever because I couldn't stand you, but now we are just fine.
And it happens like that, you know. It really do. And I've seen it. You know, I have family who have a positive, you know, co-parenting relationship with the other parent. You know,
That's dope.
and I just take my hat off to him.
Yeah,
For real.
Whew, that's just like, and also too, media play a big role within there too, like movies, TV shows. You be like, and the way they like illustrate it, especially in the black community, you be like, that's not all the time though.
Right.
That's not all the time. Like the father not there. Sometimes it's like the father is the one taking control. Like Daddy's Little Girls. Like that was a perfect movie. It was like, you know, he's there, he's involved. Versus like other movies like, oh, the mother has to. No, sometimes it's like roles reverse.
Yeah, definitely.
It reversed. So
Yeah.
sometimes media plays a real big role too within illustrating the black community. Because I'd be like, that's not always the case. But hey, you never know whose story and whatever fits with that. So yeah.
Yep.
So next within this topic of custody and fatherhood is, how has being a full-time or being a dad changed your perspective on life, responsibilities, and growth?
Well, I just feel like, my responsibility to my child is to make sure she have a beautiful life. Me to keep pushing her to grow, to excel. Like, now, I signed her up to play the violin.
That is so cool.
And, now she played the cello and she just got a scholarship.
Wow.
So with me being back in her life, like, we need to be as fathers, we really need to be in our child's lives, and it's helping her grow, it helped me grow, as helped me grow to be a man and to help other men, you know what I'm saying?
So
And to really take on, the responsibility of, just being a father, like you said, there's no blueprint on how to be a father. It's really not. You just gotta want it.
That ain't easy, especially even wanting to say like, oh, I want to be a parent. Really?
Right.
Like, really?
Right.
You really want to be a parent? Okay. Cool.
Yeah.
I be thinking that too. My friends be like, yeah, I want to have kids. Like, you think you ready? I mean, it's beautiful, but like, you think you ready right now? I'm like, don't even try me, but do you think you ready? But it is beautiful. Like, children are very big blessing. Children will change your life around in so many ways.
Yeah, it
Like,
makes you go harder.
Yes.
Like, you go hard for yourself, but when you have a little one that that you want them to have everything, it makes you, it pushes you a little harder. It makes you go hard.
Yes.
So that's what I can say. My daughter, she made me go harder.
That is so dope.
For real.
Aww, that is so dope. I love to hear stories about that, because you don't hear them every day, y'all. You do not hear like a father really saying like, being a father is amazing, or it helped me. Like,
Yeah, it's definitely.
you don't hear it, and it's needed, and it's so like inspiring. So next we're going to talk about incarceration. A little bit into that. So you have experienced incarceration. What impact did that have on your mindset and determination to success later on?
Well, I don't want to go back. People try to glorify man in jail, but man, it's not cool, man. And just me having my freedom taken on a lie, literally was like, it really just made me just really reevaluate things. Like, damn, like, being free is really a privilege. Like,
Yeah.
You can really lose your freedom, and it's just crazy, So when I lost my freedom, me sitting in that cell every day, it was just like, this is not something that I want to do. Me getting out here, no matter what thoughts I had, I want to pay her back like this. I told God, I say, God, if you help me get out this cell, I promise you, I won't pay her back in no type of vengeance. And I promise you, my hand to God on my child. I got out of jail, yeah, it was a process, but look, I won custody of my child with no lawyer and an ankle monitor on my leg.
Whoa.
Real tough.
That's no lawyer?
No lawyer.
Just you?
Just me.
Wow.
Just me.
Whoa.
Because I felt like it was my story.
Yeah.
You know, now I probably could have got a lawyer. He could have got me the full custody, the child support, and all that. You know, but I went in there, stood tall. I was my lawyer. I really became a self-educated lawyer, and you know that helped me and motivated me. You know, and that's why I succeeded.
That's real dope. Like just going up there by yourself.
By myself.
Nobody at all.
I didn't. You know, when I looked, I was facing them judges, and you know, I felt like they felt me. You know, because I was coming down the courthouse. You know, I was wilding out.
Yeah.
You know, I'm not even gonna lie to you. When I say I was wilding out because when you deal with anything with the courts, there's a lot of disrespect that come with that. And, you know, it's not common for a man to keep coming down here raising these issues. So
at all.
I was being met with a lot of, you know, disrespect and, you know, nasty attitudes and stuff like that. You know, but I just felt like, you know, I could speak better myself, man. I ain't gotta pay you all this money for you to go in there and say something that I can say.
Yeah.
You know, so I did have a lawyer, but I wound up firing him because it was just like, I got this.
That's some great stuff to do, because even like you be like, yeah, I got this, but it's like too, let me have a lawyer here just in case, and all these protocols, and also too, while you doing it, and you had a ankle monitor on too.
Right.
Just in there. I would have, whoa.
It was tough.
I can imagine.
You know, but like I said, you know, the false charges came to try to, what's the word, undermine my character and make me look bad in the court's eyes. You know, I filed for custody. You know what I'm saying? So I felt like, you know, the court seen what was going on. You know what I'm saying? So they didn't even like pay no mind to the ankle monitor, you know, and it was assault charges as well.
Oh.
You know what I'm saying? So when I say all the odds was against me, like you would think like, you know, all the odds was really against me. And, you know, I just stayed prayed up through the whole process, you know? Like I can really say God was there.
Yes.
Like, and it was bigger than me. Like I said, you know, I was doing this for my child. It wasn't for me, you know. It was for me because I wanted her to be in my life, but it was more so for her because I'm like, she don't need to keep seeing all this dysfunction. You know, police keep locking her dad up. You know what I'm saying? She missing a year and 3 months of my life. You know, it was too much, man. And you know, I had all my documents in order. You know, I got a folder of all my paperwork and stuff that I went through. I pulled up the court, you know, and that's why I said reading is important because all the information was in the books.
Yeah.
And all you gotta do is read it, you know what I'm saying?
But people don't be wanting to look in the books with the stuff. And that's really key, especially within anything. Even if it's not like dealing with court, it can be business, your personal life, whatever. You have to make sure you read in the fine print because you can be signing your life away to anybody. Like literally, like I make sure I read the fine print.
Make sure you read the fine print.
I even like for here with guest y'all, I be like, look, I'm gonna give you a heads up. You gonna get a paper copy too with your signature on here, and we're gonna go over it and everything because you don't want to put nobody in an okie doke and don't take advantage of somebody. That is insane. Like it's just like, what are you gaining from that?
Right.
Just being, oh, okay, they'll figure it out.
Right.
No. That's the worst thing you can ever do is just let somebody sign something and not really breaking it down to them. It don't matter what it is because you never know. Like, I could be setting myself up for failure. Thinking, oh, it's so, yes, but low-key feel like I'm setting myself up for failure. Right. So, that is, going in there by yourself with the ankle monitor.
It's tough.
That, whoa. Yeah. Like, it's just like, wow. And you had all your documents. You like, wow.
To this day, I still got a whole tote full of documents.
Wow.
Just in case. Because you know what I learned is you never really know a person. You know, you never, like, you just, life just showed me, like, you never really know a person. You know, you just never really just know, really know a person. People
it gets to a point, like, it's like a lifetime story.
Yeah, that's what I said. That's why people be telling me to, write a book about this and like you know because it was really real like that you know like this was really real.
This do give off like a good lifetime story. Because I'm like, when people tell stuff, I visualize it. And I be like, whoa, because like, wow. Yeah, write a book about it too. And then what I like about when you read stuff, when you read it and you imagining what's going on too, it makes it even more interesting for me to even know what happened next. What's the outcome? So that'll be real dope if you do that, because that'll also help a lot of black men that, or men in general, that are going through this or have ever been through this.
Yeah, I get a lot of DMs on my Instagram, you know, because like I said, like I pretty much turned my personal page into my business page and made a new page, you know, but it was like it played out on all my pages. You get what I'm saying? My Facebook page, my business page, my personal page. It was a lot, you know, but I just want men to use me as someone that went through all the adversities and came out on top. I went through the incarceration. I went through the humiliation of, you know, posting my stuff online and, you know, my name being bashed and, you know, this affecting my business. Like, you know, I do life insurance, so I got to sell myself, you know? So, but the people that knew me, and even the people that didn't know me, you know, I was pulling up with receipts. You know, you could say something about a person, but once they post the receipts, it's like, oh,
it's crickets.
let me reevaluate what I was thinking. You know what I'm saying? And that's why sometimes, you know, you got to defend yourself. And I understand now why people, you know, I never really understood why people would put their personal business online. You know, but for me going through it, it just gets to a point where it's though, like, nah, I'm not keep being silent and letting somebody just, you know, bash you. You know, so just use me as someone that overcame.
Yeah, because like I mentioned too, y'all, that social media is something not to play with, because once it's there, it's there.
It's there.
It's there. Like, like I be very mindful what I do, what I say, how I move even off the camera, because you never even know who know you from any type of area in your life.
Right.
Like, my fear is even walking on the street and somebody's parent come up to me like, I be like, no. And my mom be like, that's why it's important too to treat everybody with respect.
Yep.
I know it's hard, trust me, I know it's hard, but you never know who you may run across, and you never know who may know you from whatever aspect.
That's true.
Like,
that's true.
Oh my gosh.
I don't know why, you know, and that's crazy you said that. I don't know why people act like giving respect is such a hard thing. You know, it's this, but you know, I just was down North Carolina, and I was talking to this old dude, and he like, oh, you from the city, or you from Baltimore? He's like, I don't like it up there. So he's like, y'all, you know, y'all real hostile up there. You can't even tell somebody that they got a nice outfit on. And it's really like that, and I feel like that's a problem that we have in our city. Like we too hostile with one another, you know. And I think we just need to try to let our guard down. But you know, a lot of people been through a lot of things in life, so that's why mental health is important yet again.
Yes.
Going and go get help for them past traumas.
Because that impacts a lot within your life. Like, even though I tell people to, like, yeah, I'm from Baltimore. They be like, what's up? I'm like, Northeast. They be like, I can't stand y'all. I be like, like, even too, like, when certain men be like, I can't stand y'all light skin women, like, take me out that equation, because we're all not the same.
Right.
You know, like, yes, I'm a part of it, but I'm not a part of it, if it makes sense. Like, yeah, that's where I'm from or whatever, but that's not, like, we're not all the same.
Right.
Because, like, you'll be surprised when people, you be like, oh, they from here, but yeah, everybody's not all the same. So, especially, too, when you go out of town and you be like, here they go. And it's like,
right.
No, not all of us, you know, like, I'm from there, but that's not me. But, you know, everybody had their reasons. I respect that, but also, too, please seek help. Now, we talked about custody and fatherhood, incarceration. Now let's jump into your life insurance career. So, you have been in the life insurance industry for 10 years. What drew you to this field in the first place?
Well, I've always been a businessman ever since. Well, I was a business kid first, you might as well say. You know, I was selling candy as a kid. I always just business just came to me. Like, you know, I've just always been a businessman. I love helping people, you know, and what I seen is, you know, well, when I first got into this field, I was actually working in a jewelry store in Towson. And the store wound up closing. You know, K Jewelers, you ever heard of that? I was in Shaw's, which was directly across from it, right? So the store was closing, and I was just, at that point, I was tired of the whole 9 to 5 thing. You know, I just always felt like I just want more. I just didn't like how, you know, you could work somewhere for a long time and then they could just take your job from you. So I got on Indeed and I said, you know what, I want to make 100,000. My lifestyle, I don't spend that much. You know what I'm saying? If I make 100,000, what jobs I can make 100,000? And all insurance jobs popped up. So I started out doing health insurance at first. I have my life and health license. So I was doing health insurance at first. I didn't really like health insurance because there's a lot of changes and a lot of cold calling and stuff, and I ain't really like that, you know. So actually I got fired as soon as I got my license, you know, just because the dude didn't like me.
And that's something that you would think should be like, why are you doing that? But it happens. People will do that just for petty reasons, like, oh, I don't like you, so I'm gonna let you go. Like, what? That's
exactly what happened. Cause, you know, and I started at New York Life after that, which was a whole life company. And I was there for, you know, almost a year and some change, but I didn't really agree with what I was telling to families. I didn't feel like it was accurate once I actually read the policies. So once I started asking questions and, you know, raising certain issues, it became like a conflict. So I was actually on my way. I was ready to quit the insurance field. What happened was the girl that I was working with, shout out to Maria, the girl that I was working with at Shaw's, she had her insurance license. So she called me one day like, hey Mike, hey, you still doing, you know, you still in the field? And I'm like, yeah, I'm ready to quit. And she was like, hey, I got another opportunity for you. And she set me up with an interview with the regional vice president. And I went, and I've been with Primerica ever since.
That's dope. That's really dope. And it seemed like with every career, I noticed, like, we be into it, and then it'd be some bumps. It'd be some bumps. Definitely. But then it'd be people that see your craft, and that was very dope for her to see your craft. It was like, you know what? I'm gonna talk you out of it, and that was really good because that's what we need is support. That's all it is, like support. Just help me, help you. You know, you there for me, I'm there for you. Just if you, especially when somebody see your potential and see your drive, your hunger, all that, it's like I gotta help them. Like, I'm not going to leave them right there. I'm going to help them. I'm going to make sure, look, you got this, you got that. Because I always say, too, like, them jobs that we had, they helped us. It's a setup. It's a look back at a portfolio like, dang, even though it was some mess, but they helped me, and it helped me get to where I'm at now. Like, I be looking back to, I be like, dang, I was at finish line, and in Towson too. They gave me some issues, but looking back, like, it helped me, even though it got on my nerves, but it helped me in some ways. And it also was a love-hate type relationship, but it helped me in ways like with dealing with people. Working in jobs with customer service, it also helps you with dealing with people on another side of things, especially like dealing with insurance. Like, wow, just sitting there, just be like, okay, this can help you, especially helping people to get that, because insurance is a very big thing that most people really don't take into consideration until it's time to, okay, you need these life insurance. So have you ever dealt with families like just now getting them and never had it like when they were supposed to?
Oh yeah, definitely. Like I told you, I've been in this field for 10 years, so I done pretty much heard it all. I'm telling you, some people just have a negative view on it. Because, you know, an agent pretty much didn't set them up in a structure their policy correctly because they was just in it for the commission check. You know, but I've had a lot of stories where, you know, people they try to get it once they are diagnosed with something. You know, and you know, I can get you covered with a lot of, a lot of diagnoses, but some diagnoses, it don't really matter. And what people don't really understand is it's not your money that qualifies you for life insurance, it's your age and your health.
Yeah, I see the ads all the time. Like, if you this age, it covers this. This is, I feel like the ones I be catching is like rarely around like retirement age.
Yeah.
And it helps the coverage and everything. Because also, too, they had the commercials, too, like when something happens, like a family member pass, and it's like, insurance can't cover all this and that. I be like, that just be the fear, like, ugh.
See, and when you wait until retirement age to get life insurance, it's expensive. See, now for us, life insurance, we can get $250,000, $300,000, $1 million policy for under $100. Once you wait until retirement age, that's like the cutoff age for life insurance. A lot of people don't know that. So it was 65, but it got extended to 70.
Yeah.
But after 70, now it's a bill. And what I learned is they really charge older people high premiums because they feel like you're closer to your mortality date.
And now that you say that, was crazy. When I was at undergrad and I did social policy and welfare, my group, we did that. I don't know where that came from for me. I think because we wanted to try to take away from like just the children, like the youth. We want to try for elderly because social work and policy, but social policy is like retirement age. That was a big conversation we had, and we was like, it's crazy because of the retirement age, especially too, like back then it was like 65, 60 and stuff. And then we said too, for us, like 70 years old, it's like you gotta work and work and work and work and work, but you also gotta make sure you have these things to set up your life. So when it's time for you to retire, you have that life insurance, that 401k. And a lot of people don't really think of that. It's like, oh, I'm retired, I'm going to be on vacation, I'm going to be this, but that. But it's like, you want to make sure you're also set financially.
Right.
Because that can also be a mental breakdown for you. It's like,
yes,
in order for me to make sure I'm good at this age, I got to keep on working. And I even, like, when I was working too in like the health type fields, like nursing homes and stuff, I seen older ladies, they didn't retire till they was almost 70 years old.
Right. Because
of them having to make sure they're at the age of getting retirement, having the life insurance policies, and it's so crazy because I'm like, they shouldn't have to deal with that at all.
Right. And a lot of people, they think that it just stops at life insurance. And that's not the truth. You got to make sure your investments, your emergency funds is up as well. Because once you get older, your body might not allow you to get out here and work like that. So that's when you're going to need a lot of money.
Yeah.
When you get older, and you don't want to find yourself in a situation where as though you up in age, you didn't have your investments and your emergency funds in order, and now your life insurance is about to skyrocket. I'm dealing with a client right now that's going through that same thing. But I didn't set his policy up.
Yeah, that's the thing too. Trusting someone, like going back to what you mentioned about commission, those be the things too. Like, you want to try so hard to give what you can, and there's some out here that be like, look, I'm gonna get this done so I get my commission and do it. Because sometimes too, when people do that, when they think like that, they're just putting you up for anything. Like, going back to what we said, you have to read the fine print. And at times too, for older people, at times they be like, look, I need the help, can you help me, da 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 da. But sometimes that's when we come in and be like, look, I understand, but I want you to know what you're getting yourself into, because I don't want nothing to happen. And I can imagine how that is for you to break it down to them, like, whoever it was before may not really work it down, but I'm going to give it to you from the beginning all the way to the end so you can understand and know what's going on with your money and how it's flowing.
And that's the difference with me and a lot of other agents, is because I'm from the heart of the hood. So my goal is to help my community, not hurt it.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? I'm not ready to tell you anything that's going to mislead you or put you in a situation that's going to hurt you. Because I wouldn't want somebody to do that to me or anybody in my family. My grandmother was taken advantage of by the life insurance company. And when she passed away, me and her life insurance company was going back and forth on the phone, because I'm like, how would y'all benefit to my grandmother if she was bedridden?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And, they gave My grandmother paid like $7,600 into her policy, and at the time of her death, they gave the family $3,000.
That's insane.
So how would y'all benefit to my grandmother? You know what they told me? Hey, if she would have passed away the day after she got the coverage or any time, we would have paid out. But because she waited until she was too late, that's why her premium was high. And that's why she only got a little bit for her buck.
That is crazy.
So that's why you're supposed to get life insurance while you're younger. And then once you get older, your investments and your savings is going to save you. Then the need for life insurance is supposed to go away, but a lot of companies and a lot of agents don't preach that to the community.
And with the younger generation, because like my cousin, shout out to Cody, he's also doing it. Like, he's the first one ever in our family to even, he's so big on it because, you know, like in the older generation, they don't really be like, oh, I don't need it, y'all be alright. No, it's a need.
It's a need.
Like, that goes into like the question you really tapped into, like, what do you wish more people, especially in the black community, understood about the importance of life insurance?
That it's not, see, a lot of people want things to be for them, and life insurance is for your family. It's a way for you to say that I love you to your family upon your final moments. You know, life insurance is meant to help your family live better in the event of unexpected death. You know what I'm saying? Just, I tell anybody, imagine if your great-grandfather or great-grandmother left you a policy upon their death, and then it just came out of nowhere, like, hey, you got $100,000 check, how could that help you out in your life, you know? And I just want people to understand, like, you know, it's really important. You know, we want to set our families up. You know, life is unexpected. You know, death is unexpected. You know, a lot of people don't want to talk about it, but it's real.
Yeah.
You know, and there's nothing wrong with setting your family up, you know, in the event that you pass away.
Yeah.
It's coming to us all, you know?
Yeah, that's one of those discussions. It's like, it's so hard, but it's like you need to prepare for it. It's need to prepare for it, and it's very, very needed. Right. Now we touched a lot about family. Can you share a powerful story of how insurance made a difference for a family you worked with?
Yes. So I had a client. He was my mechanic on my cars. He used to fix all my cars. This was my man, right? And his daughter became like best friends. Like, she's like my sister. And I remember him sitting in my living room, and he just was saying he wanted to get his life insurance just in case something happened to him. You know, he just wanted to make sure his daughter was right. That's all he kept saying to me. I just want to make sure my daughter right. I want to make sure my daughter right. So, fast forward a year later, he wound up just passing away.
Wow.
Bend over, have a heart attack, gone. Right? So, because he didn't have his policy in force for 2 years, so a lot of people don't know this. You gotta have your life insurance policy in force for 2 years for them to pay straight out. If you don't, then it becomes a contestable claim, meaning it's gonna get investigated, and then that could take up to 9 months.
Wow.
Right? Me being the agent that I am, I'm like, hell no. You ain't about to wait no time 9 months to get your money. So what I did was, I made sure she understood everything. You know, she faxed over all the information to home office. I called home office, made sure they got everything, and I got the policy to her in 2 months.
Wow.
A check that I delivered to her. You know, it was sent to my office. I got the check from my office, delivered it to her house.
That is such a
for her to live better.
That is really
a gift from her father. You get what I'm saying? He's gone. That's his final gift to his daughter.
Right.
So that was real powerful for me, you know.
That sounds very powerful, because like, just those, for me, that's a touchy situation, because I, like, with my cousin, when he went to school for business and things like that, and he tapped into the life insurance and stuff, and I would be like, what really made you do that? He was like, our family, like, we, like, half of them didn't have no insurance.
Right.
So by us being the next generation coming up, we all need to tap into these life insurance. It got to the point where I asked my parents, like, look, y'all got life insurance? Like, we prepared, you know, like, y'all got stuff, because I'm not going to be honest. She'd be like, look, we pay. But yes, like, going back to, like, with my cousin, you know, within the older generation, they don't really think of, like, life insurance. It's like, whatever I got, that's yours. Other than that, just, they'd be like, just put me to rest or whatever, peacefully, whatever you gotta do. But when he broke down, because he started out with his clothing brand, and then he tried to incorporate both within the life insurance, because like it was global, if I'm not mistaken. I'm sorry, I messed up. It was global. I think global. I don't know, y'all. I got the shirt. Y'all seen it. And he also tried to incorporate too the importance of life insurance. And every day he is doing it. Like he doing the cartoons of why it's important in the Black community to do life insurance. And he also like going away and even going to conventions and meeting with big time people that's in these life insurance, like promoting it, like this is why it's so important. And then he'd be like, I'm not in this for the money, I'm in it to help a family, because like he said, for our family, like even when we seen that for us, it's like that made me go harder to help serve people, because you never know how much of an impact this could put on a family, right, especially if they don't know.
Right.
Like going back to when we said like the reading is fundamental, because a lot of them didn't understand, like, okay, it's life insurance, but what's the whole purpose? Like, what's the outcome of what is it for? And when he broke it down, like on Instagram, I was like, it makes sense. And that's what had me like, everybody got life insurance, like everybody paying life insurance monthly in it. And you couldn't even pay like to like $30 a month and stuff for your life insurance.
Yep.
Like you don't have to pour out so much, because that bit of money you're investing, it is stacking. Like it is stacking. So God forbid if anything is to happen, your family is set because you were able to invest every month with it, making sure that this is taken care of, as well as you're being taken care of as well when it is your time.
Right.
So we did put on the positive side, but there's always some negative side within everything we do. Has it been like a challenge sometimes with families that you have to break it down and they still don't grasp like this is important and this is why you need to know what's going on?
Yes, because a lot of people don't, they think that they're gonna live forever. So that's pretty much what the thing is. They think procrastination. They'll be like, oh yeah, I'm gonna get with you. Like rest in peace to my uncle, right? Before he passed away, the day that he passed away, he told me like, nephew, I'm gonna get with you. You feel me? He didn't think that he was gonna die later on that night. He got 9 kids.
Wow.
No life insurance. So I've had a lot of stories where as though I tell people, procrastination, I understand, you gotta, pay for it, but I look at it, sometimes we spend over $50 a day on meaningless stuff.
Yeah.
And life insurance is important.
Very.
Especially when you have children.
Yes, because you never know what can happen.
You never know.
Like,
not to cut you off, I got a few friends that got in car accidents, severe car accidents, and no life insurance. And you know me. So, when people know me and they don't have life insurance, it be kind of like a smack in the face sometimes. But, I had to get to a point where as though I had to realize I can't save the world. You know what I'm saying? I can help who I can help. And, all I do is just keep putting the message out there. If you receive it, you receive it.
Yeah.
I hope everybody receives it, but I can't, keep beating myself up over people that, just don't want to do it,
Yeah. Because I was about to say, like, have you ever had to deal? Because it's like going back to certain episodes we have, like with people, what we do, it do hurt when people that you care for feel like they not listening. And then when time happens, it's like, I told you, like, come on, because like I'm not gonna steer you wrong.
Yeah.
Especially if I care for you and I feel like you're a reason in my life, you're not a seasonal person, I'm gonna make sure you're good regardless. Even if we're not cool like that, I'm gonna still make sure, because this is something impacting life.
Right.
Like anything can happen at any given time, and that's why it's important to have as many people in your life that's in this world. Like have a therapist, a friend that's a therapist, have a friend that's in life insurance, have a friend that work on cars. Like have them, because you never know in life things happen.
Right.
And life insurance right now is a big thing that is needed to be pushed and pushed and pushed because every day something's going on and then things are happening and you never know what can happen. And I thought about it too, like when you brought up the car accidents, that's a big one because like sometimes like you never know what can happen.
You never know.
And if you don't have the things that is needed, it's like, what are you leaving behind?
Exactly. A bunch of clothes.
And you really can't do nothing with that.
You know what I'm saying?
It's like.
So, I be trying to, I always been an outspoken person.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes that rub people wrong. That's probably just the Gemini in me. You know what
Oh,
I'm saying?
God.
It is what it is. You know what I'm saying? Hey, as a life insurance agent, I'm not really, we friends, but, my job is to always keep it real with you.
Mm-hmm.
You feel me?
Yeah.
I feel like I'm the perfect person for this business because I'm going to keep it real with you, whether you like it or not. I never been a yes man. I never been somebody that's going to agree with stupidity. You know what I'm saying? I feel like, God put me here for a reason.
That's dope. Especially knowing what's for you because, like, going back to it takes a long time at times to even think we know what we want to do in life.
Right.
It takes a long time. Like, we all go through these hiccups. Like, you got to go through some things and be like, look, I know what's for me and I know what's not for me. And I know, like, these setbacks, they really messed me up, but they helped me with my setup.
Right.
And for you, what you're doing and what you've been through, that helped you to be who you are today.
For sure.
And that's really dope because who said, I think my friend Mari, shout out to Mari, he was like, one of his homeboys, like, once you're at the bottom, there's nowhere else for you to go. The only place you want to go is go up.
Right.
And it had me like, right, and that goes impacted with setbacks. Like, we all go through these setbacks, but these setbacks also help us for the setups.
Right.
Like, you've been through so much in life, and it's like, okay, now I found my niche, and then all the stuff I went through, you went through, it humbled you, and it also helped you who you are, especially on a professional side.
For sure.
That is one thing, like professionalism. I want to deal with the real deal. Give me the real. Give me feel like, yes, give me what I need to know. Like, don't sugarcoat it. Don't be like, yeah, no, I want you to be like, look, this is not it. You might think it's good because it's a price, but it's not. This is for you. Yes, you might got to invest a little bit more, but it's going to pay off in the end. You need to be with people like that because when you sugarcoat it, it's like, I'm just going to soften it out, just... They're going, yeah, but they're going to find out later. No, let me know now. So I'll be like, okay, such and such told me this, or he or she prepared me for this. Because sometimes people don't know at all.
Right.
And you never know, going back to being a teacher, you never know who you can teach.
Exactly.
And everybody needs to be taught because learning don't stop at all at any age. Like, it don't matter, like, once you graduate high school, all that, get a GED. No. Teaching is still being in play. You learn something new every day about yourself or something or someone.
Every
day,
right?
That's important. Like, I'm learning something, especially about life insurance, because it's like, it's needed.
Facts.
It's most definitely needed. And like, when I see the commercials and stuff, I be like, dang, really? And then I be asking people too, like, you got life insurance? Like, and then 401k and all that, like, you know what's going on because anything can happen and you want to make sure you set, and also your family, whoever you leaving behind, is set too, because that's a big thing that happens too when things are not set. That's left on the family to straddle up and put together.
That's true.
Like with the GoFundMes,
that's not a plan. That's what I be trying to tell people. GoFundMe is not a plan. It's not.
Because don't they like
it's kind
take
of
half
embarrassing
of it?
too, when life insurance is inexpensive. But, I look at a lot of these young dudes, I see them on Murder Inc. and, they was flashy as ever while they was here. And I'm like, dude, you could have paid your life insurance up for a year with that shirt you had on. You know what I'm saying? Your shoes was like $500. You paying $50 a month. Bro, that's not. That's why we got to get our priorities in order and get this education and, be receptive to the information that people giving to us and, be open to keep learning. Like you said, you learn something new every single day. But you just got to have an open mind for it.
I feel like, going back to what you said, like when you see things, I see it all the time too. I be like, I feel like for our generation, especially the culture and stuff, they're not worried about that. They don't see themselves sitting talking to somebody like, oh, I gotta pay life insurance. I'm young, like I'm good. No, anything can happen at any given time. And two, the biggest thing too, investment, like you mentioned. Sometimes we don't invest in things that we think needs to make sense. It's like right now, living in the moment. I'm living in the moment. I'm going to flash out. I'm gonna have these Rolexes, the purple jeans, the black C's, Cardis. It's gonna pay off. But then when times like that happen, it's like now people gotta sell this stuff you got to properly have your home going, and that's the scariest thing ever because it's like it's important. Like you need to think of that. Like yeah, you invest in that, so you should be able to invest at least $30 or $50 into a life insurance. Exactly. As well as too, a bigger thing issue too is people don't have insurance. Period. And that's a big issue because when your health is on the line, that insurance plays part in everything. Like you don't got no insurance, health insurance, and all that. It's like you don't have nothing. You need that. It's like your birth certificate or a social security card. Yep. Like you need that. That's you. And sometimes I feel like we don't really pay much attention to it because it's like, okay, but when it gets to that time, okay, that light bulb go off like, all right, now I gotta really invest in like, no, it's never too late, but it's needed to be like now. Yeah. Like when you preparing to do big stuff, make sure that you're set. Anything can happen.
I'm gonna say, but it is a time where it can be too late. Mm-hmm, yep. You know, once you get diagnosed with a pre-existing condition, something life-threatening, life insurance out the window. It don't matter how much money you got if you can't qualify medically. Mm-hmm. So it can be a time where it's too late. You know, health insurance. You know, they don't be really trying to mess with you if you got a lot of pre-existing conditions. Yeah. And that's why I be trying to just warn people, like, you know, we're young. It's a blessing to be healthy and young and able to move all your limbs. And, you know, a lot of people is going through some things, you know, and they got it bad in life. And, you know, if you got free choice to not, you know, to alter that before, you know, something happens to you catastrophic, then why not?
Because it's important. Like it's a part of life that, and sometimes they be like they don't teach that in school, but that's why too you can learn outside of school. Right. Like that's how like when the kids come into school, you learn your ABCs 1, 2, 3 before you get into school. And even sometimes too, like even when I went to college, when I transferred to Morgan, certain stuff that I learned before I stepped foot in there, I was learning by myself because of what I was doing work-wise and when I was at community college. Like you be surprised at how much stuff you listen to and learn, and it relates to things that you never thought it would. Like within life insurance, like I worked around a lot of older people and they would talk about their retirement plan all the time, and I would be like, I get it, because I'd be like joking, I'm like, you trying to throw it in my face, but like they'd be like, no, because like by you being at your age, investing in it now, because I'm 60-something years old, I should not still be doing this. Right. I should have been already had this done. I would have been on it. And even have to make sure all these documents are in by the 1st, because everybody has to retire like on the 1st. Everybody, I heard older people like June 1st, July 1st. It has to be done by that mark so you get all the perks, especially impacted with life insurance. So you get all the perks, and that impacts with having documentations and reading the fine print. It's very important. It's crucial, y'all. It's key. It's needed in life. Thanks. And lastly on this part is, how do you balance being both a provider in your career and a provider at home as a father?
Well, mostly everything I do, I'm an independent contractor. So I'm able to control my time. So anytime my daughter have anything, that did. Because I just marked that off my calendar. I gotta be free. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, you know, it all ties together. You know, I like to be free. I don't like to feel as though if I gotta do something for my daughter, I gotta worry about my job being taken from me. You know, so I love being an entrepreneur. I love being an independent contractor. It all works out for me perfectly.
That's dope. I love it. Like I love that lifestyle. It's just like being your own boss. I'm able to wake up, be like, all right, I'm gonna work this long. I'm off this weekend.
Right.
I'm going on vacation that day.
Exactly.
Like
Exactly.
being able also have that flexibility is important.
Exactly.
It's very important. Also too, with your personal life, spending time with your daughter as much as possible, because that's very needed too. Because a lot of parents and stuff, they be like, they can't do stuff because of the job.
Right.
And that impacts with the kid a lot
Right.
too. That's key to make sure that, working honest, but it pays the bills. And sometimes we be like, well, I know within parents I know, especially within my age, they be like, I gotta sacrifice. And at times too, it's like I lost jobs, but it's like too, that's my child.
Right.
I gotta make sure like they good too. Like yes, there's money on the table, but it's like too, that even motivated them to go harder to be their own boss.
Right.
And at times too, it be like that, especially when you have younger children. It's like I gotta still make time for them, but also get money for them. And that's where the being your own boss come in. Versus when they get older, it's like, all right, cool, I could go back to doing a little 9 to 5 or whatever on the side. But right now, I need to capture every moment I can with them while making money and make sure they're good. Like having a 401k, make sure they got money in the bank for when they get older, the college fund and everything is intact.
Right.
So shout out to all the parents that are able to be flexible like that.
Shout out, yeah.
Because it's not easy. It's not easy at all, especially when you're doing certain stuff.
And yeah, another thing that I noticed is, like, I try everything.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like, probably not everything, but I try a lot of jobs. You know what I'm saying? Just to see what my niche is. I was working in the school system.
Mm-hmm.
I was a kid myself.
Mm-hmm.
So I understand how people build their life around their job.
Mm-hmm.
And you want to be there for your children, but you can't because of the job. And I just didn't want that for myself,
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like that's how a lot of parents lose control of their kids, because you're trying to make it financially, but these kids still got to live outside when you're not there.
Mm-hmm.
So, me actually being there, I'm always there, you know what I'm saying, for my daughter. So I feel like what drives her is making me proud too.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm doing it for her, she doing it for me. So, hey.
And that's very important too. And then also going back to the phrase, it takes a village to raise a child.
For sure.
Not everyone has that village too.
For sure.
So, like, we're getting honest, but it pays the bills. Like, sometimes you gotta sacrifice stuff. And then going back to the parents that can do it, yes, kudos. And to the ones that had the support, still able to do it, that's 10 times kudos.
For sure.
Because it's not easy. And then sometimes people be like, I'm not doing that.
Yeah.
But to the ones that are helpful, bless your heart.
Yeah.
Because, like, it gets to a point where, like, some are like, I got it. And then some are really like, look, you need this. I got it. Don't worry about it. He or she good. We going to be good. Get it done. I'm going to make sure. And that's all right. And whatever flexibility, what works for you, that's what matters. Especially within handling a business and raising a family. Like, you gotta make things shake at times.
Yep.
So, and I seen it from firsthand. Like, my mother go to work, my father home with us. Then they swap. My mother sometimes even went to school at night. My father helped her with papers. Like, I just seen it. Like, they were each other's support.
That's a partnership.
Yes, and that helped me, grounded me, and was like, look, that's what I need. That's what I need, and that's what helped me too as to who I am today, and even for my siblings.
Shout out to your parents.
Yeah, because
for sure,
it's needed. It's very important, and too, being a parent, your children looking at you.
Right.
What they see you do is right, and they like, okay, when I get older, I'm gonna be just like this, and I'm gonna do things just like this. That's why also it's important to display good behavior, but also show the real and raw too. Sometimes it gets a little real in the field.
Definitely.
But it get a little real in the field because everything is not peaches and cream.
Yes,
life be life and it's not peaches and cream.
Life be life, man. You just gotta be resilient, for real.
Yes, very, very. And y'all, we almost done. We got some closing reflections. Now, looking back at your journey, like incarceration, custody battles, and building a 10-year career, what does resentment mean to you?
Just, weathering the storm. You know, keep going no matter what. You know, don't give up. You can't give up on shit. That's your dreams or anything in life. You just can't give up, man. You just gotta keep going. Stay prayed up. You know, just just keep going. You know, keep going. That's what I keep going.
That's good. And it's like I tell y'all, bad times don't last forever.
Nah,
they don't last forever.
It don't. And you stay prayed up though.
Yes.
You know, make that like a number one thing that you do. As soon as you wake up, you close your eyes, you stay prayed up. You know, I believe in God. You know, I can't really say I'm a religion. I believe in all religions. I believe in God. I believe when you pray to God, things work out for you. So pray to God. Stay prayed up always.
Yes. It's crucial. Like I tell y'all, like them bad times don't last forever. After every storm is a rainbow, pot of gold, whatever you prefer. Them manifestations is real, prayers are real, and put in the work to see results.
Fact.
Okay. Now, what advice would you give to fathers fighting for custody or trying to rebuild their life after setbacks?
Keep going, man. Stay prayed up again. You know, hey, listen, you gotta keep going, man. Like, you don't give up. You know, especially you doing it for your children. So you gotta put your feelings in your pocket. You know. And understand that you're doing it for something bigger than you. You know, your children is bigger than you. You know what I mean? You crashing out or you know, going with those impulse decisions ain't gonna get you nowhere, man. I'm gonna tell you that. Ain't gonna get you nowhere. So, you know, use me as an example of somebody that went through all the adversities and came out on top. You can do the same thing.
See, I just love when the guests come here and give y'all stuff and y'all come back and be like, it helped me so much. So I hope this helped y'all a lot.
For sure.
And lastly, what's next for you both personally and professionally?
So next, well, I'm 80% done my real estate course. So I'm ready to start selling houses. Yeah, so I'm ready to take the state test as soon as I finish this course. I might get into some security work. Like I told you, you know, I like to do things that I control my time, you know, so that's career-wise. Personally, I just want to travel more. You know, I've been traveling. I just drove across the country with my cousin. You know, I flew to Atlanta, drove from Atlanta to Los Angeles, so I got to see the country for real, and it was beautiful. And you know, I want to keep doing it. I want to get out the country now and you know, really see the world, because it's really a big place, and you don't have to be stuck in one place. You know, you really don't. You could just get up and say, you know what, I'm moving to another state and start your life all over again. So that's what I want to do. I just want to travel the world, see the world. My daughter she keeps saying, Daddy, I want to get to Paris. So we're going to get to Paris and smell that funky water. That's what they tell me. So that's what we're doing. So, hey, you know, and, you know, keep being there, pushing my daughter to succeed. She want to go to college. She says she want to go to Howard University. Okay. So, I mean, I'm here to keep pushing her and, you know, make that come true for her.
That's dope. That's dope. It's funny you say Howard. I wanted to go to Howard so bad. But either way, I was going to HBCU. So shout out to Morgan and Howard.
Yeah, shout out to you went to college.
Yeah.
You know, I took her up there, you know, so she could, you know, walk around the campus and stuff. So, you know, it's like once I did that, she would just hook.
It's amazing. That HBCU life.
So
that HBCU life is amazing.
Shout out to the HBCUs.
Yes, it's gonna prepare her in so many ways. Like, minus all the partying and stuff, but career-wise, she gonna be in it. And it's crazy because Howard and Morgan are like the top 10 schools that they they're in their career when they graduate. Yeah. So, yeah, she gonna be set.
That's why I tell her, you know, continue getting these good grades. You know, she get outstanding grades in school. You know, she already breaking generational curses while even, you know, getting a scholarship for playing an instrument.
Yes.
I don't know nobody in my family that got that. You know, hey, if somebody did, let me know. You know, but I don't know anybody that got that. So, you know, my child got that. You know, that makes me proud. You know, I just want to, you know, continue to live and see her succeed.
Yeah, that's such a blessing. Like, while she young too and got the support, that's
for sure.
Blessing, double blessing in it's so amazing to see and witness.
For sure.
Other than that, I thank you so very much for taking the time out your busy day to come on here and vibe out with me, and also let the people hear about you. Good luck on everything that's coming. You'll pass that test.
For sure.
Because when it comes to education, that's my job. Like, I promote it like it's needed. It is. It's amazing, like what you can learn and what you can do and who can you teach, and who can you help within housing, buildings. Like, it's amazing. Even with your life insurance, everything keep going within life insurance. What you're doing, being a good father, and being an advocate for what you stand for.
Yep.
Is very important and is very needed.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
And I will.
Yes, you should.
I will. Yeah. I'm locked in.
Good. Because it's needed. Like I said, you don't really hear a lot of men talk about these things.
Right.
And it's needed because you never know who's going through what you're going through.
Right.
And you never know who's watching you.
Right.
And you never know who's going to be like, look, I need help. Even if it's life insurance. With teaching them and how to deal with this and nothing like that. It's like, this is the whole point of Vibe Out with Guests. Learning from them and also connecting with them. Even if you're listening or watching, whatever way you prefer. Just like listening to real people go through real stuff and telling real stories. And it's not like, oh, I'm just going to say this to say it. No, it's real deal. This is life. This is what I've been through and I'm not ashamed of it.
Yep. And what I learned is I'm a needle in a haystack of men that's going through this.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that have went through that, you know? Mm-hmm. So, you know, you just gotta stay resilient, man, and stay prayed up. That's my message. Stay prayed up, stay resilient. It's gonna be all right, man.
Yes, it is. And without further ado, I thank you all so very much. Please stay tuned for the next Vibe Out with Guest appearances. And as always, we always welcome our guests back if they want to come back and talk about any other topic. Y'all know I always promote every guest, so you guys get all his information, socials, and stuff. And without further ado, I thank you all again, and I'll see y'all next time.
All right.
Bye. All right.